the UKLC Week 5 finals. My name is HitBrain and I am joined by Dan Orcs Harrison. We kick it off for our finals and we'll be finding out who is going to be challenged Fnatic at the top of the tower. Once again, we have MnM versus XL. I feel like this is our new El Clasico, really.
It really is. This is this sort of constant matchup of who gets to fight up against Fnatic. I think we had two fairly one-sided games before this. Both teams definitely wanted to make their way to the finals as quick as possible, but now both teams had a decisive early game. The question's going to be who comes out on top here, because that could be the big tell as to who faces Fnatic.
Well, we do, from our last game, have our MVP, which is Yusa, the AD carry for MnM. This is the guy who, I've kind of been soft calling out for the last few weeks, as he hasn't really shown up that much, but 401, a 71% kill participation at a high CS per minute. This guy, he was doing his job on the Lucian. He looked very good. Yeah,
he was a solid performer, but I think the big talking point was MnM as a whole. They looked very controlled. It was a slow burnt-out game, but they didn't really give Envision much chance to get back in it. Low kill score, considering that almost half the kills were in that last little skirmish at the end. And I think it's a good sign, because we have said that sometimes MnM can be over-aggressive and get punished for that. But another team who also can be punished for the over-aggression is XL. And I was taking a look at just the game before. At 10 minutes, XL had a 500 gold lead. At 15, it was 6,200. It's just that pace, such a fast snowball from there. And then at 20 minutes, although MnM had gotten to a 5,000 gold lead, XL had twice as much over Enclave. And I think MnM's early game just isn't on pace. But if they can withstand it and have a controlled game like the last one, I think maybe they can win it out.
So a little look at the bracket as well to see how all of the teams kind of ascended up the tower this week. XL started out versus Barrage, then taking on Enclave. While MnM, they had their game versus Demise and Envision. So they basically walked through the two newbies to the UKLC to make their way up to XL this week.
Yeah, I think they had a pretty easy match of it as well. We gave a lot of credit to Demise, who have been really looking good since their debut in the UK. And also even Envision, the last 2 weeks have been really solid. But MnM just gave them no hope at all. It was pretty one-sided. And I think the big one was the Demise matchup, because they were only a point below MnM before this week, and it didn't look like it.
No, MnM are looking leaps and bounds ahead of the others, even though the points don't quite reflect that. And a lot of that comes off how many points you can get from the tower, which is what XL and Fnatic have kind of been using to basically farm the towers so far. But as we look into this matchup, the XL versus the MnM, we were talking just briefly about the kind of gold lead that XL have been, how fast they pull their gold leads ahead. But it's been the kind of controlled game by MnM in the last game, which I think if they played that into XL, that's what Fnatic have been using to beat XL so far.
Outlasting them.
Outlasting them, kind of punishing them for mistakes. And that's how they beat Envision. They tried the engage and it didn't work. So MnM just stepped back and then go for the re-engage. Now we'll be looking at on the blue side, XL on that blue side of the map. I said blue side twice. Have a little look at our
blue side,
roster,
just in case you're wondering.
For XL, who are, by the way, on the blue side, Sendo in the top lane, Taxa in the jungle, Exile in the mid, Hyun in ADC, and Kasing as support.
They're still running that same roster, being that way for a bit. And then MnM have Only Angel on the top, Nalty in the jungle, Chibs mid, Yusa AD carry, and Shogun support. It's a hype matchup.
It is. I was trying to find words for the pentakill stuff, because I'm still deep down, cut deep by that, by Yusa stealing the pentakill. Not as cut as Chibs probably is right now.
I think a big thing from it, though, is it shows a dynamic in MnM. They're all friends. They're all just having a good time. I'm not saying that isn't the case with XL, but I know a lot of them, the aspirations is to move up to the LEC roster. So it might be the fact that they're like, okay, I'm on this LEC sister team roster only as long as I have to be. Their goal is always to move up. But MnM, they're just happy to be together as a team. They're happy to play together. And yeah, I know Yusa stole the pentakill, but Chibs just saw it as banter. It was a bit of a thing to have a laugh about. They even tweeted about it the next day. And I think that's the thing, is that the camaraderie is definitely there for MnM. And XL, they've had moments where, not so much they haven't had synergy as a team, but some of the players have looked like they aren't too keen to be playing on this roster rather than the LEC roster.
So what you're saying is this is an anime and the power of friendship will prevail.
Yes, that is exactly what I'm saying. Friendship trumps all, isn't that right?
Yes. Where do we go? What do we talk about now?
Well, which arc is this?
Well, Arc 5.
Okay.
Because we're on week 5 of the Tower Challenge.
So
we just have the same arc.
Is this the Friendship Triumphs arc?
I don't know. Maybe that's the finals when MnM win the entire thing.
That'd be pretty hype. Yeah, so if you have been keeping up with the UK scene but aren't sure exactly what's going to happen in playoffs, top 7 teams, so quite a lot, will go into playoffs, and it will be a gauntlet. So you'll have to go through, if you're the 7th place team, you have to go through everyone to get to the top. So definitely not an easy task, but possible. And then the bottom 2 teams will go into promo relegation. So a big thing is that obviously you want to avoid the relegations, but if you come 7th, you still have a hope of winning the whole thing, getting to the finals,
and go to European Masters.
Yeah,
that would be the Cinderella tale, a story of Cinderella stories. You know, the team that just fighting with like relegation, and then like just walk into the Masters.
Can you imagine?
Then they win it, and then they win Worlds.
Yeah, I mean, why not? But can you imagine if you were 7th, you fought all the way up, you get to the finals at Twickenham, and then you just get stomped out, and you're like,
just free up. Yeah. You have a Dabless versus Fnatic from last season.
Yeah. I mean, fortunately, though, for anyone who is coming to Twickenham, remember, tickets are limited availability. It won't just be the finals there. There's going to be booths, little events, a lot of fun things, and lots of swag that you'll be able to pick up. So if you're worried that it's going to be a 3-0, there will be other things to keep you entertained.
Yeah, there's going to be loads going on. It's on the 1st of September, not the 1st of August, because some silly plonker decided to come in today, apparently, to Twickenham. The guy must have been well disappointed.
Maybe he was just camping out for a good seat.
Yeah, just a month. But yeah, on the 1st of September, you can pick your tickets up. So make sure you head over to uklc.gg. You can do the slash for me? Slash!
Yeah, I'm good.
Tickets. I missed Saga already.
Oh, okay.
Saga got in with it. He got the dot and the slash. Come on, man. You did cringier stuff last season with the United. Do you remember them?
Could you still
cringy.
do them? I might need a bit of practice.
I remember that. Was council.
There was the whole.
That was council.
Well,
put your bandana on because MnM are taking up into this pick and bans versus XL. That's going to be the Akali taken away. I probably expect to see the Aurelia follow up as well. We don't even need to address what MnM banned there because that is just standard versus XL at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you say that, but there was a little bit of variation coming out from Enclave. They did leave the Yasuo open, which obviously was a bit problematic for them. And Corki as well is a massive issue. And this is a problem that's developed with XL. They have so many picks that are seen as must bans. We've seen the Heim and the Tristana banned. There's still Corki, there's still Yasuo. There's still a lot of things on the cards that you have to be concerned about. But XL, though, in a lot of respect, these are the exact same bans that Envision used against MnM. It's those bruisers and assassins that Chibs and even only Angel can flex them, and they're just so hard to deal with.
And the scary thing is you have to ban that Yasuo because you can't just ban the Sejuani because they'll pair it up with Gragas. We've seen them do that as well. So Yasuo is kind of like the must ban if you want to deny that. That is what MnM decide to round their comp out. The Kiana and the Aurelia get denied from MnM. So the same bans we actually saw from Envision. Singer's going to get his hands onto the Yuumi. Shogun, he looked really, really good on that cat.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is another big thing that Kissing hasn't looked good on Yuumi recently because he hasn't had a chance to play it. Last time he got to play it was in that Heim and Yuumi game. And I think teams since then have just said no chance. And MnM, they looked very strong at themselves, maybe hoping to pick it up. But XL, they're happy for it to be left open because they'll take it for themselves. And that's the issue, is that MnM are stuck banning these picks that they don't have much priority for them to play. They don't really want to play the Heim, they don't really want to play the Trist. They haven't played much of the Yasuo, and that means that they have to leave this ban open, which goes over. But MnM are able to pick up that Cassiopeia. Has been flexed by them before. Can go mid, can go in the bot lane. And it was a really good performance from Chibs in the last one.
All right, I want to see Nolty pick something fairly high impact, something that he can kind of set his lanes up for success, because we know XL, they play to win every single lane. Deny those kind of power picks from, you know, the ability to make these kind of powerful lanes work in their favor. It's going to be the Cassiopeia versus Azir mid lane matchup here.
You think, but we're not 100% certain.
True.
But it's interesting that XL have gone for a much heavier scaling composition here. They have the Sivir, they have the Yuumi, they have the Azir. That is just, we want to have a monstrous late game. And it means that a lot of picks are denied from MnM. Yes, they've left the Corki open, but we have seen that that's been XL's priority here. They've gone for the Azir instead. And we have the Karma, but the good pair on that is the Sivir. That's not an option. In the end, Nolty will just opt for that Jarvan, something safe that he can put a lot of impact in. And Taxa, he's been playing that champion a lot. The throwback, if he doesn't get the Jarvan, has usually been the Lee Sin. So I expect to see a ban for that coming out soon. But it's a very different direction for XL. Yeah. They very much had this early focus where they just want to stomp. You know, you saw Sejuani bot lane. They have had scaling elements in the mid lane. But this already is just, we are going to win if you try and go to 30, 40 minutes.
The interesting thing for me, actually, is what has been left open here. As we take away the Aatrox, we take away the Sejuani, but things like if they want to opt into something that can scale into late game as far as AD carries go, Yusa's Kai'Sa is still open, and they could look to pair that up. This might also be the likes of a Karma Cassiopeia bot lane, which will look to hard shove into the Sivir, because Sivir is known for shoving, but she is not going to beat out a Cassiopeia and a Karma shove. So that could also be an option to MnM. So it's actually really exciting pick and bans here, because, you know, it's the typical Flex L, and it's MnM who are also playing into their flexibility with their picks and their comp, because that's been one of the kind of the major growths. Is XL have always been fairly flexible since the start of the summer split. MnM, this has been a more recent thing for them. They started to pick up more flexibility. We saw Chibs and Only Angel kind of flex these bruises between each other, but now Yusa's joining into the fray, picking up mages. Yeah. There's a lot that MnM are able to do with what they've drafted so far. As the last two bans are going to be the Olaf and the Lucian. What do MnM look to kind of pick up? They don't really want to reveal their hand too much yet. See what XL round their comp out with and what they look to build out. It's rough because anything you pick here is going to solidify one less option for your flexes. If you pick AD carry, top, or mid, it will reveal one lane the Cassiopeia, the Karma can't go to. Again, if you pick support, that can be the situation. They end up going for the Zoe, so this definitely tells me that the Cassiopeia is not going mid, as is the Karma not. So, like I said, it removes one of the flexes, but this is something Chibs is clearly confident to play into that Azir. One of the weaknesses of him is against that long-ranged and against poke. Nars open, Lee Sin is as well, and that's a pretty strong combo for Tax and Sendo. Those are signature champs for them. So I expect to definitely see the Gnar come in, and it wouldn't surprise me to see the Lee follow up. It's a lot of early game power between those two, and I feel like it means XL, they can just play around their top side, and it means they can facilitate the rest of the team to get to the late game. And you nailed it, the Lee Sin gets picked up. I want to see what Only Angel's going to pick up here. The things like the Kennon's open, I feel like he wants to get something that can kind of pressure the Gnar. Yeah. So what do we think he has in his wheelhouse here? I mean, Camille is potentially a big one that can scale up and be a late game side lane threat. But the problem that I'm having is that you're not going to have a free laning phase, because you know that Tax is going to want to put a lot of pressure on the top side and assist Sendo. Mid and bot are just looking to scale. They have a lot of shoving power. They have a lot of poke. They are just looking to scale up for the most part. But we will have to see where everything gets finally locked in. I mean, they're holding it, they're hovering it, but it's no doubt they're going to swap. So it will be Camille against the Gnar, which I think Camille can do fine in. If you get on top of the Gnar, you can really punish him, especially as you pick the fights when he's a mini. But the problem is, I have a feeling that Tax is going to make that lane very difficult. So it comes down to how well Nalty can path to facilitate that. But you really don't, you're limited to how many lanes you can impact as the Jarvan, because you want to be able to help every lane out. But mid and bot aren't that easy to gank. And as well as that, you want to facilitate them and set them up, because I feel like the Sivir and the Yuumi, they're going to have a pretty easy time to shove in the Cassiopeia and Karma, because although there's a lot of shoving power there, Cassiopeia just burns through her entire mana pool if she tries to keep up with the Sivir. And all the poke is sort of negated by the healing from the Yuumi and the Sivir spell shield. So there's limited effectiveness. And the problem is that we've seen XL typically have very strong early games no matter what they pick. We've seen them pick things like the Tristana and the Corki bot. Still had a stellar early game. I don't think this is going to necessarily be anything massively different. I think we still expect XL to come out. That 10-minute to 20-minute point, they're going to look to just snowball and get massive objectives across the game. And then it's from there, can MnM find their way back into the game? They have that split push option with the Camille. They have the Cassiopeia, who has a lot of scaling, but outside of that, I feel like they're going to lack damage to a certain degree. And especially in the team fights, when you're up against the likes of a Sivir and Azir, you can't just win 5v5 easily. Yeah, and I think for me, it's about MnM breaking this wheel that we have seen for the last 5 weeks of the UKLC. Fnatic and MnM have been scrapping constantly, continuously over the top spot on that tower. And even if MnM don't take the tower, but they take down XL, they get themselves their first victory out in the finals, because they've made finals a lot, but they've never won the finals. That's the key thing. Yeah, that's the big thing, is that MnM have struggled to compete with these LEC sister teams. Nalty said it yesterday, they've got so much resources behind them. They have these massive players like Hyun and Kasing coming in. It's a hard ask, but they are constantly trying to find the game that will be able to one-up them. They have spiced up their comp to quite a degree. It's just going to be interesting to see how this plays out, because XL, it's pretty standard in terms of they're going to look to play around Sendo and Taxa having that early game pressure. Hyun and Kasing and Exile, they're going to be happy just shoving lane and scaling up. But for MnM, it really comes down to which lane does Nalty want to snowball. I think you've got to be looking at the top side. It's something that we've seen traditionally from MnM a lot, is play around your solo lanes, because
more than anything, if you have only Angel ahead in the Scamill, he's going to be able to split push. If you have Chibs ahead, he's a massive threat. Yus is still going to need quite a bit of scaling, even if he does get some extra assistance.
Well, for the meantime, Chibs is going to take a little bit of poke here from Exile. I did just walk into a few Sand Soldiers, but he's running that combat summoning the Ignite. You can see Exile had to opt into the Cleanse, as the Sleepy Trouble Bubble could just spell way too much trouble for him to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is that a flash isn't even necessarily an out, because once you're hit by the Sleepy Trouble Bubble, that could almost definitely be an it. Even if you flash, you may still be in range.
I mean, you give more range to the Q, which does more damage. So.
Yeah, you literally can only get away by flashing into Fog of War and hoping he misses. Cleanse means you have that out. Also works against the Enlightened damage if...
Only Angel hits level 2 first, so he just goes in for a bit of a light trade versus Sendo. Does a bit of damage to him, but not going to be able to get too much off, as he's actually gone for the Meteor as his keystone here. As Shogun actually does take a pretty horrible trade versus
Pretty
Kasing.
solid at trading with range matchups, because when you use that W, the leg sweep, very easy to hit the Comet after it. Big thing, however, is you can see that Exile, Hyun, and Kasing all already starting to shove their lanes in, applying the pressure. And the problem is that Yusuf needs a bigger mana pool, and Chibs, he just needs a bit more damage on his paddle star before he can start to just pop waves. So for now, they are going to kind of be at the bane of XL, which sets Tax up really in a perfect situation to just move where he wants on the map.
Angel has got his lane pushing in his favor. That's that Meteor leg sweep you were talking about. Himself a corrupting pot and a cookie to drink, so he's fairly comfortable for the moment. And Hyanan going for a bit of a fight with Yusa. Yusa's mana bar is already pretty low. Does have a cookie to burn if he wants to regenerate a little bit of mana.
The thing I want to highlight is how the map's always almost been split here, in the sense that because only Angel's been able to shove in, he has that deeper vision. You can see in Tax's blue side of the jungle, Nalty's walking past it right now, gives him the freedom to move about and take these camps after getting the scuttle. And the same things happen on the opposite side. Taxa has that extra vision onto Nalty's blue side of the jungle. He's able to clear out the scuttle, and now he'll walk in and take these camps. And this is a great situation for Only Angel, because he's now able to shove in with no threat of the jungler being there. But in return, Shogun and Yusa are just going to take a beating in this bot lane.
And this is what we actually saw XL do at the beginning of the day as well, versus Enclave, where they played heavily for Taxa just basically sitting on top of Hyanan. Well, it was actually Exile and Kasing at the time, but in this case, it's going to be Hyanan and Kasing. Just sits towards this bot lane, looks to get that lane going nice and comfortably. As you'll see, Nalty maybe wants to try and make something happen here, but Exile's already underneath his turret. It's very hard to make this gank work.
I mean, even if he's out the turret, it's so difficult because of the mobility of Azir. This is why him and Corki have been the big blinds on this patch. It's so hard to punish them, even if they step out and shove the lane up, because of that extra mobility they have. And even more so now that he has that cleanse. Usually you see the TP coming out, or another defensive summoner, but cleanse just negates everything Chibs can do to set up a gank.
And he's trying to get that grass proc off onto Only Angel. Only Angel's doing a good job in this lane. Has himself a lot of pressure over Sendo for the moment. Meantime, you see that bot lane are going for the base. Sendo is about to gnaw out, so Only Angel can't really commit for a fight right at this moment.
Yeah, recall and TP is already coming from Only Angel. So it's going to be matched by Sendo just to keep that item differential. But it does mean we won't see a ton of action on the bot side. We had 4 TPs in this game. All 4 have been burned just for a bit of extra laning power. We're in for the long haul here. We've talked about how these teams both like to snowball the game in the early game, but it's more so that 10 to 20 minute point around the mid game where they find the big advantages.
About 5 minutes on the clock here. MnM have bled down 400 gold, but it's nothing too big to speak of, as Only Angel and Sendo are having a little bit of a scrap here. Sendo now starting to be the one to come out on top as he procs out the hyper.
Oh,
and that's going to be the hookshot going wide. And Sendo now about to gnaw out. Might just get the wallop down in the minion wave. Throws the rock. Only Angel has to flash forward, but Sendo comes after him. And first blood in the top lane.
Just a big outplay coming out from Sendo. He finds all the skill shots. He finds the damage. And Only Angel just completely whiffed that hookshot. And as soon as he did that, you knew he was going to go down.
Chibs just didn't have the mana to help Exile or the health. So, sorry, Nalty, so they can't go for the gank onto Exile. Chibs just has to back off for the moment.
This is super rough because Nalty made the decision to focus on that top side of the map, facilitate Only Angel to shoving in, and in return, his top lane, they get solo killed, just outplayed, outskilled. And if you look at the sacrifices MnM had to make on the other side of the map, they're 15 CS down on the bot lane. Yusa is constantly getting poked down. It really just makes me think it just wasn't worth it.
I have to see if they can do something about this. Maybe put Nolte down towards this bot side. Once he's got level 6, Hyunmin has to flash to get out from that Cataclysm. But let's have a little look at this fight in the top side once again. Only Angel does just take too many hyper procs.
Just gets too close. He knows the Mega Gnar's coming, so he should have hookshot away. He tries to go for the stun in return, but as soon as he misses it, he's just doomed. Great from Sendo to land the boulder as well, and then it's just easy follow-up on the flash. Overzealous from Only Angel, and he pays for it dearly.
Yusa's had to go up to base, wants to get himself his lost chapter finished up. Hasn't gone for the tier like we saw last game from Chibs.
I mean, I think he needs the lost chapter right now. He cannot just sit there and say, okay, I'm going to stack up this tier. He needs the extra mana, because last time we saw him, he was under tower, low mana, unable to do anything, no TP. And as a result of that recall to buy the items, look at the CS differential coming out bot. It's 20 CS right now, and this isn't like, oh, we've picked an early game oppressive bot lane, but you're going to outscale us. It's a Sivir Yuumi. That's one of the best scaling bot lanes you can pick, and they're already crushing early.
Sendo actually jumps in, does get himself the wallop onto Only Angel, but good stun will at least stop Only Angel from committing, as he did just lose his Mega Gnar. Only Angel has a big wave to catch up here. That trade really bit him.
This is really rough as well, because we talked, I looked at the game before when they were against Enclave. The gold lead for XL at 10 minutes was only 500. The gold lead is already 1,500 in this game. It's much more significant, and this isn't even the point where XL really start to come online. 10 minutes to 15 minutes is where the gold lead balloons, and they've already started to build one. It's got me really concerned, especially since although MnM have some scaling win conditions like the split push from the Camille, you're up against a Sivir and a Zir. That is a hard team comp to win in the later stages against.
Well, Taxa finds out Nolte there with the kick. Great kick to spot out where the jungler is, and Chibs not been able to really do too much with his jungler hanging about in the wings a few times over. Starting to bleed out on the CS deficit at this point, and Nolte's not been able to really make too much happen at all on the map. He's been very underactive and pretty underwhelming so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the big thing is he devoted his time topside to help Only Angel off from protection, but there was no way they were going to dive Sendo, and since then, all it's done is just cause issues for the rest of the map. With Only Angel getting solo killed on top of that, the one lane they were like, okay, let's try and get an advantage here, hasn't found it.
Chibs has a GLP as his item pickup. Don't you just love Zoe?
Yeah. The most frustrating one is Redemption, though, especially when you're playing bot lane and she just roams a little bit and then heals you up.
Yusa goes in for a bit of a fight, but he comes out from a really bad spot there. Jarnan doesn't have too much mana or too much health, and Nolte and Chibs were both trying to see if they can make something happen. But Taxa, he's just going to turn his attention towards this Mountain Drake right about now.
It's so rough right now for Yusa. He's having to burn all his mana just to get the minions an appropriate HP from to Twin Fangs, and he's constantly getting shoved in and poked down. There's no real option or recourse for him, and now XL, they'll take that pressure they've permanently had bot side, the permanent prior on those two lanes, and they'll use it to get a Mountain Dragon pretty early on.
The question for me is, who are we looking at? Because it looks like Yusa and bot lane it's just not working at the moment for MnM. So where is the pressure? Where are the people we need to look to if MnM don't want to just get outscaled here?
I'd like to see Nolte try and make a better attempt at a mid lane gank, burn some summoners from Exile, and then he has to play more reserved. And then once you free Chibs up to make roams, the game might go in a different direction. But right now, MnM are just slowly bleeding out, and this is the point of the game where Exile like to snowball.
Yeah, like you said, it was that 10-minute mark where they normally have a 600 gold lead. We're pretty much on form for that. It's 900 at the moment, and then at 15 is where they have the 10,000 gold lead. Sendo does find himself caught out here for the moment, but
okay, I don't want to criticize your maths here,
Shut up.
But it is a lot more than 900 gold lead. And it's not typically they have a 500 gold lead at 10 minutes, it's just last game. But here is where they snowball
engaged
more.
by Yusa onto Sendo. He's low, but they can't chase for more. Do get himself a boomerang blade over the wall, and that'll be the Rift Herald picked up for MnM.
It's a good sign to see. They have some life. They force XL away from that Herald by going for the lane swap. That's the big thing where they were successful. They brought the Cassiopeia and the Karma there first, and so in response, XL had to back away. They get that Rift Herald, but it's still not changed things. 3 plates down, bot and top is a lot of gold. You can see that shown in the 3,000, not 900.
Thank you.
3,000 gold lead for XL.
I was looking at the second numbers, all right? Not the big numbers.
I get it, math's hard. And now Shogun and Ulti, they're looking for a play, but Tax is here.
Yeah, Yusa's already taken a lot of poke from that Boomerang Blade and from that Prowling Projectile. Nolty now steps in, gets the Cataclysm down. Yusa, ultless and ignited, is running away from Xian and goes golden with the stopwatch for the moment. Underneath his tower, it's burning low, but not low enough. Only Angel slides in with a Hextech Ultimatum. That's going to be 1 kill picked up for XL already. Nolty has to flag and drag to safety. MnM, the whole thing went wrong, and XL turned it around.
They won that 4v3. Sendo doesn't have teleport. They brought only Angel in, and they still lose the fight. XL, it's their time of the game when they are being dominant.
It's just what we see time and time again from this XL roster. They just play so flawlessly in this 10 to 15 mark to get themselves their second turret of the game, and the gold lead is now growing more and more. We're up to 5,000 now. It's just ticked over.
6,000.
6,000. What is... Honestly,
it's been a long day. You've had to cast all the
dude.
games so far. It's cool. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to correct your maths.
Well, you're not here to do predictions, are you?
No, definitely
Only
not.
Angel's apparently not here to throw out hook shots because he just completely trolled. That went all of the wrong ways, and Xiaonan, he's going to pick himself up yet another kill. And by yet another, I mean his first kill, counting with Jake.
Yeah, 3rd kill, however, for XL, and they are really putting on the pace for this game. 10 to 15 was where they snowball their lead, and they have started to by all means. MnM, it's starting to look really dire. It's still early, but even the lane that's been untouched, unaffected, Chibs in the mid lane is 20 CS down. XL has picked up a bounty just from farm. It's really concerning because XL by no means get outscaled here. They have a Sivir, they have an Azir. They're going to do excellent in the late game, and they are crushing the early so much. The caveat is we've seen XL make massive throws before.
Yeah,
but not against MnM. So I'm not saying there's no hope for MnM.
Oh, that might be the first sleepy bubble trap I've seen Chibs land, but he can't actually close the gap onto Sendo.
He opts for the farm instead. And yeah, I'm not saying that MnM can't bring this game back. It's definitely possible. We've seen XL make big throws before, but MnM have yet to beat either of the LEC sister teams. This is the opportunity, but it's not been a good start. The long game is what they're going to have to play, because right now, at 14 minutes, and having a 7k gold disadvantage, that's 500 gold a minute, you are falling behind.
I just want to say, XL are the team who will throw these leads out the window. And MnM are looking to force a fight here. They get the ulti off. Yonden's low, but the final chapter will pin him in place, and Taxa secures the kill. Petrifying Gaze is kicked away. Only Angel slides in. It's a 1-for-1. Kasinga's caught in by the Hextech Ultimatum, and MnM find 2 quick kills.
2-for-1, very good trade. They managed to get the bounty from Xiaonan as well. They will have to back off, though. They are concerned about Sendo's split push. Get a little replay here. Big thing is, Xiaonan is flashless, so once he's in with that Cataclysm, he's in for good, and they actually managed to turn around heavily onto Nolty and kill him, but Xiaonan's still trapped. The damage comes in from Only Angel, and then the Hextech Ultimate, and you can see Kasing, he tries to dive to Taxa, but you ain't getting out from this one, and Taxa even walked as close as he could to try and get inside the Ultimatum, but it just clipped the Dragon Wall, and he wasn't able to.
Lips gets himself a bubble off, but not going to pop that quite yet. The Rift Tail gets summoned in the top lane.
That's a rough Rift Tail. That's a sort of, oh, it's been 4 minutes already. I guess we'll just throw it here, sort of Rift Herald. And in return, because they had to back off because they lost their jungler, MnM have given up control of the bot side. And XL, they take this Infernal pretty freely. And Infernal Mountain already, we're back on those hypey Drakes.
Yeah, they've got another mountain coming up, so this will be double mountain with that Infernal if XL can pick that up. And look at the damage Sendo's doing to Nolty here. He is just cutting through him.
This is a full tank Jarvan, but the Hyperprocs do percentage HP magic damage. No MR to come out from Nolty yet, and every time we've seen him go in, he's been burned through pretty heavily. Yusa might get MnM's first tower of the game here. Nolty and Shogun are there to assist, and I think Exile sniffed this out, so he will just let it go.
But what's the cost? You're seeing Chibs is getting shoved in on his tier 2 bot lane. It said Only Angel to defend out mid. There was a sneaky blue buff steal there by MnM. We're able to at least deny that, but look at the other side of the map. Look at the wards that XL have placed. They have complete vision control around MnM's blue side.
The one saving grace is that mid tower is still up. MnM have managed to defend it, and it's going to make it hard for XL to push the vision much deeper when that staple tower is available. Now you can see XL, they know that is the next objective to look at. They've moved over already, and Shogun, you can't defend that alone.
No, I don't think he's going to be able to defend it at all. That's going to be the Demolish proc as well here. The rest of the team coming in. The bubble actually finds its mark on to Kasing, but he is inside Hyana before he can do anything about it. That is not the interaction. I didn't actually know how that interaction worked if you sleep a Yuumi.
I mean, cats will sleep anywhere.
True, true. My cat's obsessed with one chair in the house at the moment. My cats, do you? Yeah, I know you have cats.
Yeah.
I feel like if anyone didn't know you didn't have cats, they don't follow you on Twitter.
Cat, yeah. But actually, my Instagram is all I only post cats on it. I'm like, I should post something else, but you know.
I mean, I'd rather see the cats in your face,
True.
to be honest.
You're not wrong.
But do your cats find like their bed of the month?
Yeah.
They just find like one place in the house that they love. The moment it's just this one chair in the living room, they're just obsessed with it. You can't
both
move
of them.
off.
Are they competing with it?
No. They always in the same room normally though. They'll pick a room and then they'll pick a chair or a spot in that room each and they'll share it.
Yeah, my cats go through that. They also it's normally like a box or something where they can sleep in. Sometimes it's really odd places. Like we have this pile of wood outside our house.
Exile. I was really aggressive. Didn't know that Nolty was quite around, but slides over the wall. Did have Kasing at his back, so was feeling pretty confident, and he forces Yusa away. Now with this sand tower put up here, the legacy of Shurima.
I mean, this is what's happened. They've taken that mid tower. They can even put the Azir tower up. And now it means they have more space to push the wave up and rotate and get control of this Baron area. 2 minutes till it spawns with his 6.5k gold lead and the sheer amount of DPS XL has available. Oh, I think they're going for an engage on an ulti there. Does just force him away. But that's the thing, is that control is now over to XL. MnM can't really shove the wave out mid. Because one, it's a much longer lane, and two, there's that giant Azir tower in the way. Will go down, but Hyana can just walk over, shove in, and then as soon as this happens, Chivs and Shogun have to deal with a wave. So XL are free to move as a 3-man unit, and Nolty can't do anything 1v3.
Yusa's trying to steal with Sendo, but he's not actually capable of doing too much. He's just got the Archangel staff. Now there's going to be a bubble finding its mark onto one. Taxa takes a big chunk from Chivs, but follows up. The heal comes down by Chivs. That's going to be the final chapter. Chivs gets gnawed back against the wall. A boulder toss to secure the kill, and Sendo finds it. Yusa throws out the Petrifying Gaze, but it's not enough, and now Sendo flashes over the wall, looking for the kill onto Yusa. Yusa is low. Yusa is down, and Kasing finds that one. 3 members of MnM fallen. Shogun is underneath his tower. He goes golden for the moment. The tether is going to be broken, and Exile gets himself a kill.
And they just slaughter MnM. They try and contest the area of the map they were getting control of. They wanted to find vision for themselves. In the end, they just fall flat on their faces. XL are in complete control of this game. 10,000 gold lead at 20 minutes. They're on pace to match what they did against Enclave.
And only Angel in the meantime was just pushing away on that bot side of the map, and Hyana is just going to pick up a bunch of jungle camps, get himself a little bit more gold. That Infinity Edge and Essence Reaver finished up. He's got 2 very expensive items finished, while you look at his opponent in that bot lane, Yusa. Just the Archangel staff.
I mean,
Archangel's struggling.
Archangels isn't even an item.
Yeah, it needs to be stacked.
Until you stack it, it's not a full item in my point of view. Compared to the Infinity Edge Essence Reaver, which gives so much raw AD behind that Boomerang Blade and those crits, it's no competition right now. And I said MnM, they need to buy more time, they need to scale, but they keep trying to contest this Baron vision, and it just cost them that last team fight. I mean, I wouldn't even call that a team fight.
Last game, only Angel almost Flame Horizon his opponent, and now we're looking at Yusa potentially getting Flame Horizoned by Hyana. There's only 20 minions really separating them at this point from that. As the next Mountain Drake will get picked up by XL, and this should just enable them a really easy and really fast Baron buff.
The thing is having double Mountain. Oh, engage coming in.
Yeah, that's just going to be the ulti. A great Petrifying Gaze means Yusa won't live, but Taxa slides in, secures himself the kill. XL fine too. Only Angel gets the Hextech ultimatum. He's trying to get the kill onto Exile, but he's unable to do so. A double kill is picked up by Exile. Sendo gets another one, and Nolty gets followed up by Taxa underneath his tower. He's going for the full dive, the Cataclysm, the Ace. XL come up massive and absolutely smash MnM. Nulty will die. And this would just be Baron secure for XL.
Yeah, they slaughter them. Every time MnM step up and try and get vision, try and contest this Baron, they just get destroyed in XL. They took that Baron so fast. Now they're going to be looking towards pushing that mid lane. Double Mountain, Infernal, and Baron.
The big thing is this is exactly what XL did versus Enclave at the beginning of the day. They played for Taxa to set up Hyanan and Kasing in the bot lane, basically neutralizing the enemy jungler who's unable to gank Sendo because Sendo plays very well, knowing he doesn't have jungle presence. It's all put towards this bot side, and Nulty's been unable to kind of answer out and deal with what Taxa's been asserting in this bot side, which has led to this disgusting lead in the bot lane towards Hyanan, who's now got the Zeal on top of his double crit items.
It's rough.
And what does Yusa do? He's not got an item yet.
Give him 20 minutes, and then everyone will be full build. That's your win condition.
This game is going to go to 44 minutes.
No, I don't think so either. I think XL, they have the Baron. They're going to look to push up. They're trying to establish vision control around this top side. They already have a little bit and quite a bit boss side. They want to clear up any chance of flanks coming in.
Ooh. Yusa is now 750 gold off a Leandri's Torment.
Wow, that's pointless. That really, I'm not even sure if we'll get a chance to finish this. 23 minutes was when XL shut down Enclave. It's not going to be quite that quick, but they're on a similar pace. And the minions are just destroying the tower. They don't even need to do anything.
Yeah, because there's not really too much like AD threat to deal with these minions, and the reduced magic resist they get in chips. You have to land the Q if you want to kill out the cannon.
Yeah, and it's just a desperation thing. I think MnM, as soon as they see Exile top lane, they just have to run at him. That is the only chance they have.
See if they can do that. Sendo is now going to, with this demolish, look to push up onto this turret, which takes down fairly simply as only Angel jumps in onto Sendo. That Nars available, pins him in.
Nice
Great
dodge.
Hexane ultimatum pins him in place. Now they're going for the fight on the top side and in this bot side. Sendo jumps out with a hook shot to follow onto Sendo. The wallop goes wide. He uses the stopwatch. Shannon and Taxa are here. The cavalry has arrived. Exile kicks one away. That's going to be another hook shot by only Angel. They get themselves the kill.
He's still alive!
Sendo walks out alive. Chips just watches his top laner and his jungler go down. Meanwhile, Kasing and Exile will crack open an inhibitor in that top side. They've still got Baron to work with. And what can Chips do? What can the Yusa do? What can anybody do for MnM at this point? XL have just completely destroyed them, have just found everything they need. The GA is going to get popped. The Nexus is going to get cracked. And MnM, they get demolished once again by XL.
They slaughtered them. They made it look easy. And that's the thing, is that MnM had a one-sided game, so we thought maybe they can give us some hope to try and take down one of these LEC sister teams. Then XL just say no. 1 minute slower than the Enclave game, but that is the only difference. Just one-sided, just completely one-sided.
I think the thing that you want to really hit on here is how big the gap is between these academy teams and you know, the rest of the teams. Like XL and Fnatic are just looking leaps and bounds ahead. These LEC sister teams are looking so good when MnM by no means are a bad team.
Yeah.
I like that game does not tell the tale of this team. Keep in mind the only team MnM have lost to, the only two teams MnM have lost to are Fnatic Rising and XL.
If this is the only game you've watched from the UKLC, you'd be asking, who are the 7M guys? Did they have the easy side of the bracket? Did they just look their way here? But no, this is our third best team against one of our top two teams.
It's just the disparity is so big.
It's massive.
This proves it. Now, we will once again have an XL versus Fnatic Rising Tower challenge. And to be honest, these have been insanely hype. The last 2 weeks of XL versus Fnatic have been so fun to watch. The 10k gold lead that they just drop kick out the window. And then it's been so clutch. It's been so fun to watch. And the interesting thing is what Fnatic's roster is as well, because they've done a few changes around coming into this week. So
I believe they still are running with Ronaldo in the top lane.
Ronaldo.
I think the rough thing for me is that Fnatic haven't drastically changed what they're doing. It's like, okay, XL are going to win early. Let's just wait until they throw. I don't think this XL right now, I mean, I could be proven wrong. I'm wrong about a lot of my predictions, but this XL right now do not look like the sort to throw away the game. That 10 to 15 point is still dominating, but from then on, they just close the game out so quickly. I don't know. It could be that maybe they're going to try and pace it too fast against Fnatic, and that sort of, we want to finish in before 25 minutes won't work, but they just look so clean against anyone else.
Well, 2 weeks in a row, XL have struggled to get themselves these wins over Fnatic and hold that tower, but they are going to ascend to the top. And after the break, we'll have Fnatic Rising versus XL UK. You don't want to miss this one. We'll see you in a second.
Watch me.